Israel's founding fighters are worried as the country marks its 75th Independence Day, which begins on April 25th at sundown. Many remaining among those who fought in the War of Independence warned that a rift in the nation over the government's controversial judicial overhaul could end the Zionist dream. Hundreds of thousands of Israelis continue to hold weekly protests against plans to weaken the judiciary. Some reservists are also refusing to report for duty. Still, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his coalition have vowed to push forward with the reforms if talks with the opposition fail to bear fruit. 98-year-old Amos Horev, who fought in the 1948 war, says things can't go on this way.
We have a problem here, and we are taking a hit. The one thing that I can say is that we are still strong from a national security perspective. It hasn't really harmed us, but the things that are happening here are unbelievable, and I've done a lot for this country. Do I need a dictatorship here? Are they crazy? And whose children are serving in the army? Is it those studying in the yeshivas? All my children served. My daughter's husband was killed in action.
Born in Jerusalem during the British Mandate, Horev joined the elite Palmach force, one of the precursors of today's military, the IDF, when he was 14 years old. Horev rose to the rank of commander and served under future Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin during the War of Independence.
I was in the Harel Brigade's 6th Battalion, and we were in charge of protecting convoys during the conquest of Arab villages, which attacked the convoys. It was a very tough war. The Harel Brigade lost many people.
The war was fought from 1947 to 1949 between the newly created Jewish state and the combined armies of Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Transjordan, Egypt, and other Arab nations. More than 6,000 Israelis were killed, while the Arab armies lost anywhere from 3,000 to 13,000 people.
The Jewish militias that participated were the Palmach, the Haganah, the Etzel, and the Lehi. The largest was the Haganah, and the Palmach took part in the hardest battles. The Etzel and the Lehi were smaller and also had an impact on the outcome of the war.
Like Amos Horev, award-winning historian and author Anita Shapira is concerned about the growing divide in Israeli society.
Today I'm worried, very worried, because what we're seeing here is a disappearance of solidarity and a loss of our common goals. It's super depressing. On the other hand, the fact that there is such a strong and dramatic protest shows there is a new generation of Israelis that cares about the country. This is a positive sign.
Others who fought in the War of Independence are also troubled, likening the situation to the Altalena affair. The Altalena affair is considered to be one of the most divisive episodes in Israeli history. It was June 1948, just weeks after the state had been established, and a civil war nearly broke out. The Altalena was a ship carrying immigrants, a huge cache of weapons, and fighters from the Irgun, or Etzel, a Zionist paramilitary group that also took part in the war. At the time, the Irgun was being absorbed into the newly formed Israel Defense Forces. When the Altalena arrived at Tel Aviv's shores, a violent confrontation broke out between the IDF and the Irgun. 16 people died in the fray.
When then Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion told forces to fire on the Altalena, Irgun members aboard wanted to return fire. But Menachem Begin, who was in charge of the Irgun, ordered them to hold their fire and said, "There will not be a civil war." Nowadays we're in a civil war. Roads are being blocked and we've become lawless. Still, I'm optimistic that we'll get past this. The state of Israel is strong. I believe in it. The problem we have is that our enemies don't have to do anything because we'll destroy ourselves if we continue to be divided.
Chaim Avni, 91, joined the Irgun when he was only 14 years old, becoming one of the group's youngest members. During the war, he helped his unit to conquer parts of Jaffa and the town of Yehud.
I was placed in the explosives lab. I was still just a boy and couldn't really fight. I was given empty hand grenades and had to fill them with TNT. I would crawl between the fighters in Jaffa and distribute those grenades.
On the eve of Israel's 75th birthday, the country's founding generation hopes that it will be able to overcome its internal divisions and flourish for decades to come. From Tel Aviv, Maya Margit reporting for the Media Line.